All right, Algorators, it's Friday night, and I would say ladies' night, but not tonight. We got two of our legal beagles, a male and a female, and we want to welcome you back to Celebrity Court, where fame meets the law. And guess what? No headline goes unjudged. I'm your host and Judge Al Reynolds, and today's docket is packed with high-profile cases that blend drama, legal intrigue, and the complexities of celebrity life. From NFL stars facing bankruptcy to civil rights icons' families seeking justice. We got it all. Grab your gavel because we're diving into the truth, the law, and the lessons behind these cases. Before we get started, let's meet our legal beagles. First up, we have the fiery civil attorney, Tristan Turner. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Glad to be back, Your Honor. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You kill me with your melodramatic intros. Well, it's glad to see you. Glad to see you back from DC in the White House. I saw your pictures, absolutely beautiful. And joining Counselor Turner will be our attorney. All the shit they didn't teach you in law school, author Jason Weiss. Jason Weiss, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Absolutely. Don't forget, Shaitan. Oh, yeah, I have my cocktail. We're drinking on Friday nights here in the court. Oh, not a Coca-Cola. Anyway, be sure to don't forget the fire emoji for Counselor Turner, the shield emoji for Counselor Weiss, and for the judge, a fax emoji. Please hit the like button as you watch. Hit the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit the share button and invite your friends over so we can have a little bit of fun tonight, teaching you the law on the backs of our celebrities who are in trouble with the law. Don't forget to turn on your notifications and jump down in the chat like you always do because we love the engagement. All right, first on the docket, former NFL star Michael Vick is facing involuntary Chapter 7 bankruptcy petitions filed by 3 creditors over unpaid debt from a 2018 loan amounting to $509,000. That's $500,000, more than $500,000. Vick's attorney has dismissed these actions as frivolous, but the legal challenges persist. Now, help me understand, and we're going to throw this to you first, Jason. Involuntary bankruptcy allows creditors to force a debtor, which would be Michael Vick, right, into bankruptcy proceedings to cover old funds. Yes. All right, so for Vick, this could mean liquidation of assets to satisfy debts, impacting his financial stability as well as his public image. What's going on here, Counselor Weiss? Because Michael Vick, this isn't his first time in bankruptcy court.
No, and this is not his first time that he's grabbing headlines, not for things that he's doing on the field. So you're correct, right? Involuntary bankruptcy talks about when the creditors initiate the bankruptcy, and they're basically saying that you're either they're forcing liquidation of assets to repay debt. And this usually happens when they believe there's assets being hidden and all of that. So one thing I want to get to real quick on all the things that we've been covering and all the things in the news, it seems like every lawyer out there is using this new favorite word, frivolous, right? I guess they're teaching us the word frivolous in law school. I think we need to remove the word frivolous. We should never use the word perfect. Get both of those out of our vocabulary, okay? So, look, Vick is involved in some serious financial legal troubles. This is stemming from a 2022 lawsuit filed against him here in Broward County, where I am in Florida, and that case is remaining active. So the thing is, in that case, they're suing him for $1.2 million in unpaid debts stemming from this same 2018 loan. That case is still pending, is still active. So this going in and filing this involuntary bankruptcy, there's something more going on here because, you know, they haven't gotten a judgment. They haven't done anything. He hasn't been found that he owes that money yet. And now they're going to the bankruptcy court before judgment, before ruling. And they're basically saying, hey, we want to push him into involuntary bankruptcy because we don't think he's going to have the assets or he's going to hide assets. Now, one of the things that we all need to keep in mind is that he just accepted a job to coach at Norfolk State University, right?
Right.
I understand he's probably not going to be making NFL money coaching, but he is going to be making money. That's $500,000 that they're suing him for. I'm pretty confident he's going to be making more than that as the coach over there. So I don't understand why this is being forced. Look, Vick was a guy on the field who was very strong, very confident in himself, and he's talking about that now in coaching football, right? He says, "I know how to lead, and I know what it takes." The funniest thing of all of this is that when he got appointed as the head coach and accepted it, PETA came back out and they're reminding the general public about his dogfighting scandal. So this guy can't catch a break, right? It seems that no matter what he does, he's stepping in dog poo if they're fighting in his basement or not.
You know what? Okay, you and Shaitan with these puns. This is my question for Michael Vick, though. This is not his first run in with bankruptcy. He filed for Chapter 10 back in 2008. I understand that, financial woes are financial woes, but when do you learn the lesson? Is my question here. And he was a Fox analyst. He was a sports analyst for Fox, correct?
Yeah, he was.
For Fox Sports. So he had to be making at least $500,000 to $1 million over there. So what?
But here's the thing: just because he's been claimed to default on a loan of $1.2 million, remember, it's being alleged, it's being claimed. He is denying he owes it. We could say whatever we want. We could say, somebody could say, "I'm not wearing a black jacket. This is green," and they could go ahead. It's just an allegation. There's no finding, there's no nothing, and that's what concerns me a little bit about why are you going into this involuntary bankruptcy? He has not been found to owe that debt yet. When they find him, you owe the debt, you get an order, you're afraid he's going to do something, you can do it. He's not.
So let me ask you this. If the court approves the bankruptcy, can't Vick's properties, except for the ones that are exempt, can't they be sold to satisfy the creditors, to satisfy the debt?
You want to take it, Shaitan?
Yeah, I mean, they can. I think, though, one thing I want to point out, because I used to teach law school, is the difference in positioning from an involuntary bankruptcy to a voluntary bankruptcy. So I don't think that we should rush to judgment about Mike, as Attorney Weiss has indicated. I mean, for no other reason than he has gotten better looking with age. And so I'm just saying, as Attorney Carter,
she's always a sucker for an attractive man. Oh boy.
Attorney Carter said that there should be some fine woman excuse. So I just hope that affords to Mike. But seriously, that the difference between voluntary and involuntary bankruptcy is this. In voluntary bankruptcy, if he were to file, he would be asking for relief from his debts and asking the court to help him with the creditors because the debt is so overwhelming. In the involuntary bankruptcy, these people, as Attorney Weiss indicated, who he purportedly owes, even though it hasn't been proven yet, they're telling the court, we think Mike is shady, right? He's not paying us, and the only way that we are going to get paid is if we have the assistance of the court and the bankruptcy trustee to require him to pay us. And so this is involuntary bankruptcy isn't something you see a whole lot. And so it really is, and it isn't because it's this weird thing because the individual is not asking for relief from their debts. The creditors are saying, we don't think we're going to get paid. And so it's speculative in nature. And I think it'll be interesting to see how this will play out.
Well, let me ask you both of you this. Now, if he didn't have a job, I could get it. But the man is going to be making, allegedly close to $1 million, made over, close to $1 million. With the court, because, I can understand if you had a low salary or if you were going through hardship and you had no job. Like the courts, if they approve it and it's involuntary and they wipe it out, and I apologize, it wasn't Chapter 10, it was Chapter 11 in 2008. What happens? So basically they wipe out his debt. he's going to have $1 million. He's going to make $1 million a year, and he's not going to have any more debt. Like that, something about that just doesn't seem right to me.
Well, you can file bankruptcy every 7 years. Is basically what you can do. So you could file it. You get another opportunity to do in 7 years. If you do it every 7 years, the bankruptcy trustees and the courts, and they're not going to allow it. But something's just not right here, because this Chapter 7 involuntary petition, it's all stemming from this 2018 loan that they're claiming was never repaid. And this is something that should be handled in that underlying case in Broward County, in front of that same judge. And look, if that judge is going to make a decision that, yes, he owes it, he could freeze assets. There are so many ways of doing it. So the one thing is that I believe, that not only are they filing this involuntary bankruptcy against Vick himself, they're also adding in his wife. And that might be a way for them to say that, look, maybe he's hiding it in her name. Maybe everything is in her name. Maybe, that's what you do right here in Florida. If you're married, and you own your house, you're protected.
Somebody's phone.
Yeah, not me. No one's calling me at 9:40 at night. So, but you're protected, from your homestead, your property, joint bank accounts. So maybe now, just thinking out loud, they're doing it because of the fact that his wife is included in the voluntary bankruptcy. Maybe he put things in her name.
I got it. Now, let me ask you this question. What happens to his credit?
Oh, it's shot. He probably doesn't even care. You're thrown in, it's shot. Once he got sued for the breach of the note, his credit got shot.
Okay, let's go to the viewers. We want to hear from you. Do you believe celebrities should be more transparent about their financial struggles to serve as cautionary tales, or should their business be their business and not always splashed all over the media? If you think that they should, their business should be their business, put in their business in the chat. I want to know what people think. Do you think, and also the second question is, do you think it's okay that a person who owes $1 million but will be making $1 million has the ability to file for bankruptcy, or do you think there should be some type of responsibility? No, that's their business. I agree, Toya. No, that's their business. SL said their business. I agree. Lakers in 5, their business is their business. Les says their business. So it's pretty much consensus that people. Danielle Cameron says yes. So we know we're not the only broke people. But he's making $1 million. Should he have to have some type of responsibility to pay back something? Yes, they super rich do it all. The super rich do it all the time.
It a little bit. I mean, we can't lose Attorney Weiss's point that he made initially, which is, and I don't know why these people keep texting.
Whose phone is that? You have to put your silent on.
No, it's my Mac that's doing it, and I'm
so go to the top, and you see up there beside the search bar. You tap those two up and down, those two things that look like they're the same. One is white and one's black, and you just hit Do Not Disturb. You see it?
I don't.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tech portion of this show from the bench. Usually in court, the attorneys were advising the judge on how to fix things like that. But thank you, Your Honor. I'm
gonna help her out, Shaitan. Go right above on your Mac where you see the search bars, right beside your Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Your Wi-Fi, and then to the right is your search bar. It's the next thing there. It's like one is black and one is white. They're stacked on top of each other. You see it?
I do not, and I do not know why these people, girlfriends, stop texting me. I'm in this club, and they're like talking about.
Turn your phone to silent.
It's off. My phone is off.
It's a good thing Attorney Carter's not here, because he would have been throwing.
Oh gosh! No more alcohol. No more alcohol for you.
The cocktail has tequila, by the way. If you want to know it.
No more alcohol for you, Attorney. Okay, I want to go back to the question really quick with the algoriters. I want to go back to the question for the algoriters real quick. Somebody help her in the chat, Jason. If you can hit her in the private chat, or our bailiff, if you can hear in the private chat to help her turn her thing off, please do that. I want to go back to the viewers. tell me, so no one else feels this kind of way, that if he's making $1 million and he owes someone $1 million, that he should create some type of payment plan because he's making a great deal of good money. Anybody in the chat, do you feel like he should just be able to escape what he owes, even though he's making $1 million? Am I the only one that's kind of feeling like, why ain't I making $1 million?
But he hasn't been found to owe the money yet. So that is, look, that's putting the cart before the horse. That's like saying, okay, I'm getting sued for $400, right? Okay, I could win the case. Why do I have to put $400 away? I'm telling you, if it goes this route, he's going to settle for less, or he'll get on a payment plan. They can garnish his wages from Norfolk State. They can do that. The university will have to pay towards the judgment if he loses. And if they don't do it and they don't file answers to it, the university could be held liable. So this is just going on. There's got to be something that we don't know without being in the courtroom. And again, they grabbed his wife. They threw her in. So maybe the allegation is that he's going to file bankruptcy again, and he's going to take all of his assets and
move it to her.
Well, what I read is that they were alleging that they were both parties to the loan, and so that's how she's getting her ticket to the party. Right. The other thing is that in addition to the judgment not being resolved with him, is that because this is the petition for involuntary bankruptcy, Michael Vick will have an opportunity to defend himself, to say that I don't need it. Now, it's a curious position to be in, right? Because on the one hand, a lot of people have been accused of manipulating the financial system by filing for bankruptcy to avoid paying their creditors. In this case, the creditor is using the bankruptcy system as a sword, like I said, to say Michael Vick is shady and he's not going to pay us unless we have the benefit of the trustee and we want to secure our position to potentially get paid. So I think this case is going to be in the news for some time and more will be revealed.
Yep. All right. Bernice Johnson said Trump has filed 8 times for bankruptcy. I say give him a break. Lakers in 5 says it's been happening forever. Get sued, file for bankruptcy. Cheryl Williams, but does he owe the money? Hey, we'll find out, Cheryl. And Sandra McGee, Attorney Turner is so beautiful. Yes, you are the only one that's discussing his financial status. Al, you know white people do it all the time. Nicole A says, I'm late, but I'm here. Hey, y'all. Hey, Nicole. SL says he's on the PETA people naughty list and they snitched. All right, next up, Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger has been found guilty on multiple charges, including DUI, negligent driving, speeding, and failing to notify authorities of an address change after a March accident. She now faces up to 2 years in prison and her second DUI offense. Now, remember, repeat DUI offenses can increasingly have severe penalties. And in Maryland, a second DUI can result into substantial fines, extended license suspension, and imprisonment. The court's decision reflects the seriousness of these offenses. Attorney Turner, now you were just here on Wednesday saying it was going to be very hard for them to convict her. What say you? First, hold on one second. I think we have a video. Let's see the video, please.
I'm Karen. Montgomery County Police. I would rather. I don't like it. Okay. I'd rather her not do a lot of talking at this point, anyhow, because she's probably a little bit upset after the thing. So she's.
Can I ask you where you're coming from tonight, ma'am?
She said she was coming from a friend's house.
Okay. Which way were you driving on Oakland?
Where you have it?
Were you coming from Bradley?
You have it?
I'll take a look.
Yes.
You're coming from Bradley?
Oh, wait. So you see it? Yes. Thank you.
You were driving on Bradley or from Bradley? Do you remember the accident?
Yes.
Okay. What happened?
Actually, nothing really. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just that somebody ran you off the road.
Necessarily.
What's your name?
My name's Kyle.
I'm Karen. Thank you. They call me the Grand Dame.
The Grand Don.
I don't know what the fuck that's about. Andy Cohen did that. Go ahead.
The what?
Andy Cohen did that. They call me the Grand Dame. I'm black, I'm rich, and I own the plantation of farm.
It's just so unfortunate. This is just so unfortunate all around. Attorney Turner, what say you?
I do not recall making those statements you mentioned earlier.
I bet you don't.
I mean, here's the thing, predicting the outcome of lawsuits is kind of like predicting the outcome of a football game. Sometimes you get it right and sometimes you get it wrong.
I can't see you. What happened to? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sometimes you get it right and sometimes you get it wrong. Under these circumstances, after rewatching the tape and hearing how damaging her comments were, and the fact that she seemed just so drunk, I mean, play that before a jury and there goes your conviction. I mean, that combined with the bad weave or wig she was wearing.
Do you think the car accident shift the wig to the back of her head?
I think so. I think Karen was having a bad night, and I feel for her because she's usually so careful about her appearance, and she is the grand dame of that show, and that was not her finest hour. So one of the recommendations that Attorney Weiss gave the other night, and I think it bears restating, is this. Algorators. 1, don't drink and drive. You could hurt people, including yourself. But second, if you happen to get pulled over by the police, SFTU, like, do not talk too much, because talking too much can result in them getting evidence that you wouldn't want them to have. And you might want to have some reminder or something, because drunk people do not tend to be the best barometer of whether or not they make sense, because drunk people always think they sound smart. So you might want to wear a bracelet that puts on there, what would Karen do? And then remind yourself to do the opposite. Call a lawyer and be quiet, because evidence can be used against you because you're just like this.
Well, I mean, in this case, obviously, that's what's going to get her in the most trouble, right? That's what's going to get her in the most trouble. It was the talking. I thought when I saw the husband there, I thought that he would come save the day. I personally would have said, my wife just was in a almost fatal accident. Can you please just give her a moment to catch her bearings? Ask me the questions that you may need asked, or let's take her somewhere to ask the questions. But right now, I just wouldn't allow her to answer any questions.
I agree. Here's the other thing that happened, though, here that we didn't talk about the last time. She refused medical treatment. So the other thing, algorators, if this happens to you, avail yourself of medical treatment, because while you're under medical treatment, the police can't question you, right? And so she refused. The EMS showed up and she said, I don't need to be examined. And then she got examined later, Attorney Weiss, after she had done all this talking. And so that would have been a way to suspend it, because then she would have gone in the ambulance, gone to the emergency department. And what that also does is buy you time to sober up.
Right. And get your attorney there. I am Tia B. We're going to go to you in a second, Jason. I am Tia B. Said her wig even drunk. Queen of everything said, love Shatan's hair tonight. I am Tia B. Said Uncle Ben, poor Ray. Vanessa Hearn says she sounds drunk now. Well, yeah. Danielle Cameron said, Miss Karen, girl, them tapes had me on the floor. She says she is Thomas Jefferson's concubine. What were you drinking, Karen? I would also argue that it sounds to me that she's on some other type of medicine, if you know what I mean. Like maybe some type of Percocet or some type of painkiller mixed with alcohol. It makes the alcohol intensify. Don't ask me how I know.
It did sound like that, because her,
right.
If she, generally speaking, unless you drank a fifth of vodka herself, once you have an accident like that, it does tend to sober you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, people have made some comments in the chat that I think we should address. They
Okay.
say they will still draw blood. She still would have to take a breathalyzer. Algorators need to understand that taking a breathalyzer or allowing them to draw blood is still a voluntary decision on the part of the driver. The challenge, though, is that if you refuse, then certain penalties ensue as a result. But nobody can force you to have a blood draw or a breathalyzer. And the blood draw issue has gone all the way up to the Supreme Court, and it's because of the invasiveness. And so you need consent. If you're passed out, they presume consent. But if you have the ability to refuse, you're allowed to refuse. You just have to be willing to accept the consequences.
That's some good information. SL said drunk and running your mouth. Abby NYC, the MM family said, ooh, she's been drinking. Let it go. Oh my goodness, Karen, you pissy drunk. I really feel like the way she was talking, she was under the influence of more than just alcohol. That's just me. And that would be an argument that I would make, that I'm on some type of maybe an antipsychotic or some type of muscle relaxer. And I had one or two drinks. I don't like, the only thing I didn't like, and Attorney Weiss, I want you to lean in on this, is the husband saying on tape that you've had a couple of beers, right? And her agreeing. What are your thoughts on that?
And I don't like that. I think you could drink like one beer an hour, and your body will go ahead and keep it so that your legal limit is below. So if she said I was out for 2 hours and I did have 2 beers, but then you can also take into what I think you're saying is, you know, with painkillers and all that, that looked like somebody who was on painkillers or was on something else that mixed with the alcohol.
Right. 100%. I agree.
You know, look, the husband should have just stepped in and said, like, she's in no situation to talk.
Right.
She can't talk right now. She's clearly, I want medical treatment for her and
right.
all of that. And then the other thing is that, look, if you get medical treatment, by the time they transport you to the hospital and by the time they do everything, your blood alcohol level is going to lower. And that's when they're going to start going ahead and, you know, hooking you up to machines, possibly testing your blood at that point in time. But you're looking at, you know, probably 2 hours before they have you checked in. I think the thing that really got her convicted that we probably didn't know about is the fact that she failed to notify the authorities of the address change. I mean, that's definitely we didn't know about. No, I'm teasing. I'm being but again, I mean, that's part of, you know, what this whole thing stems from. The other thing is, and I don't have the answer, and maybe Attorney Turner does, I don't know when she was Mirandized, because when she is in that car with that officer, although she is
sitting in the front seat and she's not handcuffed. I found that very interesting as well. She was not handcuffed and she was riding in the front seat. Where the hell they do that at?
Well, and then they're probably transporting her because she can't drive and the car isn't drivable. But my question is she free to leave at that point in time? And I'm saying no. You're in a car, unmarked or a squad car. You are not free to leave, period. So before she was in there, she probably should have been read her Miranda rights. And if she wasn't, then that's the argument I would make. That is where you can appeal. She did not believe she was free to leave. As such, she needed her Miranda. And they're going to look at what she believed. So if anybody's listening to this and you're handling her appeal, that's the argument to make. She did not believe she could leave prior to getting her Miranda rights read to her, and everything that she said to that officer and everything she said
is null and void.
Goodbye.
That's right. That's a strong argument. What do you think, Attorney Turner?
Oh, I agree with Attorney Rice. That was one of the comments that I had made when we were in chambers. The other thing that I do think should be explored is, did she have the capacity to waive the EMS evaluation? It was a significant accident. They came after she had crashed, and I would argue she hit her head.
Yeah, I would definitely argue. I would argue some type of concussion or something. I would also argue that my medicine that I take on a regular for my pain or for, you know, my muscle relaxer, you know, obviously it interfered with the one cocktail that I had. Let me ask this last question, counselors. If she is found, will she be a felon if she's convicted and sent to prison? She would, right?
Yes.
So that would affect her ability to be on the show.
Probably not. There's probably not a morals clause in her contract. They probably encourage behavior that will bring attention, as long as she wasn't wearing a TV shirt or a Bravo shirt or something advertising the show. They probably like the drama and the attention it's getting in viewers. I doubt, especially because this was victimless. If somebody were hurt, I think it'd be a different story. But
I think someone mentioned somebody in the comments did make a good point. This is not her first time, Jason. So for me, she missed hurting somebody the first time. Okay. But come on, you got to take some responsibility. The courts have to do something when you're just out here. You didn't learn from your first lesson that you could have possibly hurt someone. And now you saw that car. Did you see that tree? Did you see the guard rail that she hit or whatever? It just
look. She said a car came out in front of her. That's what she said. And they were like, "Where's the car?" And I don't know. I mean, she's not super reliable because she sounded like she didn't even know what day it was. But it was not only was it a victimless crime, it wasn't witnessed. Somebody came afterwards and said that she smelled like a liquor store or whatever. But there is some flexibility here, I think, if they're looking for things to appeal.
And look, for the record, I think that she should get help. She should be punished. She should not get behind the wheel of a car after having a drink. That's my personal belief. But I think the charges are going to be lessened. I don't think she's going to have a problem with Bravo. I think some community service, some speaking, and she needs a diversion program.
Yeah, diversion. All right. Blaze Brown says some meds advise not to drive while taking. You're absolutely right, especially the ones that I'm referring to. I think someone else said here, let me look it up. Right. Oh, you guys. Jay Wadley said you can't use that as an excuse, Al. Medication, etc., wouldn't allow you to be given a pass. No, I'm saying that could be a defense. Like that's what what's his name? The golfer.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods used it. Said that you remember when he ran off the road and his wife chased him with the golf club. He said he took Ambien, and the Ambien is what caused him to run off the road. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It didn't make him have sex with that woman who wasn't
right. Danielle Cameron said, Your Honor, Karen may need rehab. I agree. I think she does agree. And I do remember that IMTB, she said at first that some deer ran across the road and she was dodging the deer. I do remember that conversation. Daphne says, how is she such a heavy drinker at 61? I'm 30 and be ready to tap out halfway through my... Keep living, Daphne. I promise you. I'm 50 and drinks heal. TT said, no. Daphne said, not she smelled like a liquor store. What else? Okay. All right, everybody. Let's keep it moving. Next up, let's turn to the sports world. NBA player Tristan Thompson has settled a $225,000 debt and backed child support payments to his ex, Jordan Craig, for their 8-year-old son, Prince. Following this settlement, Thompson secured a $1 million loan on his new $12.5 million mansion in Hidden Hills. All right, attorney Turner, talk to me about this.
I'll take it.
Okay, Attorney Weiss.
Yeah.
Okay. So, look, at the end of the day, he did the right thing, right? By making these payments. But why? Why did it have to take a threat of contempt of court in order to get there, right?
Right.
This is his kid. You don't like your ex. She doesn't like you. That's fine. I'll respect that. But this is your kid. Take care of your kid. These payments are for child support for your 8-year-old son. take care of your son. He did get it. He got the loan. He did what he had to do, but that was probably based on threats of, heck, you're going to be held in contempt of court. It's going to cost you a heck of a lot more. And you have the potential of being held in jail, and they can garnish your wages and they can do all this. And the NBA is going to have a problem with you. So look, at the end of the day, he did make the right decision. He did make that payment, but he should not have had to been threatened to that extent in order to take care of his kid. It's not the wife. And I know that Attorney Turner is going to tell me that my thought is in the minority, but this is how we need to think of society.
I have this question. Okay. Why do you have enough money to buy a $15.4 million home, but don't have $250,000 to pay for your child, that you have to now, after purchasing your $15 million home, you now have to take a loan against the home to pay your child support payments?
Well, I do know he has child support payments for other kids that he has. I know that he has child support for a son, Theo, who he has with another woman. It's like 10 grand a month. And I think there are others. But again, he probably thought in his head and not listening to people that he doesn't want to give this woman the money. But it's not for her. It is for the child. It is for the raising of the child, to make sure he's in school, to make sure he's fed, to make sure he's healthy, to make sure. That's what it's for. It's not alimony. It's child support.
Right.
And again, he's probably putting himself and possibly his families or his other families ahead of this child, because he probably does not like that baby mama the most.
Well,
that's the only thing I could guess. Other than that, I have no clue why the NBA could take the money out of his check and divide it, if that's where it gets to.
I need somebody to still answer this question for me. And will the courts look at this, that you have enough money to buy, because this is a recent purchase of $15 million. You have enough money to buy a house, but you don't have enough money to pay your child support. And you have to be almost held in contempt of court orders in order to get your child support paid. Is it possibly in the state of California? That would be his estate. So he's putting all his money. Nope. California doesn't protect the home, does it?
It's not going to reflect well on him if it comes up again. So your point is well taken. The court will do a comprehensive review of his choices and also look at the other obligations he has. But I respectfully, Attorney Weiss, I think you're right. He's not thinking with his head. He's been thinking with his penis for a really long time. the way that his penis is like that laser missile, the heat-seeking missile aspect of his penis, that's where his attention and that's where his finances go. And so I've been down this road myself and also with friends. And unfortunately, some men view child support as giving money to a woman that they don't want to, because they only want to give money to a woman that they're in a relationship with. And you're not focused on what you were, Attorney Weiss, which is, look, I made this child. Because I made this child, I am responsible for the well-being of this child. And this is just how the cookie crumbles. Instead, they're like, I don't want your cookie anymore, Mom. So I'm not going to invest in your chocolate chips. And so that's just how it goes down. So all these women that I know, they're like struggling to get child support. I mean, I'm not really even bothering because of my own situation, but men do make choices to buy homes, buy gifts for new girlfriends, buy cars, do a lot of things instead of paying for their children, because once the relationship ends, that's when they believe their obligation to that household ends.
Okay, I got it. And I do understand that. I want to go to Queen of Everything said, can someone please tell my child's father to pay my $125,000 child support ASAP?
What's
And
his
then
name? We'll put it
hold
on.
on 1 second, please. And then the other one here says someone is owed $30,000 in child support. I know I saw that somewhere. This is my question. I thought that if you put your husband on child support, that he has to pay the child support or he goes to prison. Am I off on this thinking? But you have to put him on child support. Am I off on that?
You are not off on that, but I mean the truth of the truth of the situation is they're not dispatching law enforcement most of the time to go and drag that person into court, because otherwise we would need a court system just for that, a family court.
Well,
system.
can't they garnish your wages if you miss your?
They absolutely can, but again, you have the right to claim exemptions. You have the right to challenge it. You can try to do all that. If you're paid under the table in cash, you don't know. If you're married with someone else and you're head of it, there are so many exceptions. But at the end of the day, yes, you are not allowed to skip out on child support, nor should you be allowed to. You should.
Sorry.
No, please go right ahead.
No, but I was going to say what this highlights is, I'm passionate about all things involving child support and divorce, but what it also highlights is that the legal system is designed to promote the acceptance of judicial rulings by people who believe in the system. It doesn't do a good job with people who want to give the finger to the system and say, right, I'm not going to do it. And so that's where women, most often it's women who are seeking child support, get caught up, because now all of a sudden they have to go through all of these theatrics and gymnastics in order to get the wages garnished. If you're going to put the dude in jail, he ain't going to have a job. So then you don't have any money. So people don't want to push it that far. And really what we need to promote is a more honorable society where people recognize if you lay down with that woman and create a baby, then you're responsible for the outcome until they're 18. Period, the end. And the reason Tristan Thompson owed that much money is because of how much money he makes, right? He's not Pookie, right? He is not Pookie who's going to McDonald's every day and just trying to make minimum wage. He is an NBA player. And so what that he made all these kids? He should have stayed faithful and had one family. If there's a lot of millionaires who write about, clearly not Trump, because Trump has 3 baby mamas, but they do write that if you want to get rich, if you want a guaranteed path to wealth, have one family.
What about Nick Cannon, right?
I don't think these young kids are worried about, especially not these athletes. They have so many women throwing themselves at them. They're about enjoying their life, having great sex. They pull these women off of Instagram, out the strip club, meet them on the street. I don't think they're thinking about all of that. And that's very unfortunate, because what I hate to see is individuals like Tristan have the ability to make more money in the course of 3 to 5 years as a professional athlete than other individuals have in the course of 50 years doing a regular job. And for them to be so irresponsible and have the money is what upsets me. Now, I can understand if there's a father out here, who's struggling and he missed a payment or two. I totally get it. But if you're buying a $15 million house, then pay your $10,000 a month to support your child. All right, everybody, let's hit that like button. The likes aren't liking. Please hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, please hit that share button. Turn on your notifications, and also continue to keep the comments coming, because we love to read them. Tanya Kelly said, well, Tanya, you went somewhere. Everybody, these comments are moving so fast. They should be so scared that could catch that they could catch AIDS. I don't think they're worried about that, honestly. I don't think any of these, obviously the way babies are popping out, no one's scared of not just HIV. They're not scared of any STI. All right, Queen of Everything, South California is no longer suspending license as of January 1st. What? That's strange, because California has very strict driving laws out here. And Jason Weiss, these comments are on fire. Keep it up. All right, let's keep it going, everybody. Now, this is a very interesting case for me and a significant legal move. 3 daughters of civil rights leader Malcolm X have filed a $100 million lawsuit against the CIA, the FBI, the New York City Police Department, and other government agencies alleging involvement in their father's 1965 assassination and subsequent cover-up. Now, this is interesting because wrongful death lawsuits require plaintiffs to prove that the defendant's actions directly led to the individual's death. In this case, the family alleges that government agencies conspired to assassinate Malcolm X, a claim that, if substantiated, could have profound legal and historical implications. This lawsuit underscores ongoing concerns that transparency and accountability within government institutions, especially regarding historical events that have shaped civil rights movements, is a must. Attorney Turner, this is really significant because, and let me tell you why I think it's so significant. I find this significant because there's so much theory and proof that has been shown in documentaries, in movies, in articles, in testimonies, in court papers that suggest that these agencies were behind the death of Malcolm X. So what do you think about this wrongful death suit?
So the family of Malcolm X is seeking justice, right? We've had the, Spike Lee, Denzel Washington movie. We've had the Alex Haley book. We've had all of the things that you're talking about indicating that there was some sort of conspiracy as relates to his death. And their pursuit of justice is based, there's a lot of charges, but it's really based on one legal theory. And that is foreseeability, right? What they're saying is that the government was on notice that he was at risk. And as a result, they failed to exercise their duty to keep him safe. And so I think that, they have Ben Crump on the case who, he represented George Floyd and a host of other, civil rights cases in the recent history. The fact that they have him shows that it's being taken seriously.
Very serious, right?
He doesn't come to play. I was trying to meet him at the White House on Tuesday and take a picture, but his handler said he needed to eat his food, and so I went away. But that's just an aside. But I do think that this is a case that is going to be interesting because it's going to affect a lot of things. Like, because if this works for them, like, should MLK's family come out and assert similar charges? Where does this stop?
Attorney Weiss, what are your thoughts as a white male examining this case, also as a lawyer and someone who's supposed to uphold the law?
Wait, I'm a white male. I didn't know that. We're all family here. That's how I look at it. So look, at the end of the day, the job. Look, if they knew and they didn't take action, then look, I mean, the whole thing, right, where our soon-to-be president, supposedly they knew about a plot that they were going to go after him, and so what? He's now going to file a lawsuit as well. He could, I guess. Ben Crump likes to take the cases that he feels will do two things. Number one, right or wrong, and number two, get him in the press and make money. I think that he's 2 for 2 on this one, right? If they can show that they knew that something was going to happen and they didn't take precautions and they didn't do this and they allowed it to happen, then those that are responsible need to be held accountable for it. And I don't have enough information on this. I don't know enough about it. I do know that this was a terrible tragedy. This never should have happened. And if there was information that was not properly used, then there needs to be repercussions. And if I'm remembering correctly, with the assassination attempt on Trump, the director of the CIA was fired almost immediately, or the FBI, one of these. So they need to right this ship now. and
Gotcha.
take care of this and do what needs to be done and prevent anything like this from happening again.
It almost seems like this is something they probably are going to settle out of court or go to mediation of some sort. I just want to say really quickly, algoritors and viewers, you jump down in the chat. Do you think that the government, as well as the CIA and the FBI and the NYPD, were involved in Malcolm X's death? Put yes in the chat if you think so. Do you think that the government, as well as the CIA and FBI and New York City Police Department, were the cause of Malcolm X's death? Put yes. All right, Tanya Crowder said yes. Nicole A says yes. Daphne says yes. All right, Milana _NC says yes. I would not be surprised. Tanya Kelly, me neither. Not her wide ass. No, thank you. Oh, wait. Oh, Kendra Jones. Yes, they knew. Okay, let's keep it going. Next up, this one.
Though I want to say about this legal theory just really quickly is it also would have legs for like Tupac and Biggie. So for the algoritors who only focus, they're like, oh, these are old civil rights leaders. I don't really care about Malcolm X and MLK. These theories that they're asserting are not just limited to kind of ancient issues. It would also relate to anybody who was on the radar of federal law enforcement who was ultimately killed, and whether or not it was foreseeable that that would have happened and whether or not they should have had more precautions. And so stay tuned.
Oh, that's a good conversation. All right, next up, and this one is a hot one. All right, closing today's docket, the Georgia Court of Appeals has ruled that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis must be removed from the state's 2020 election interference case against Donald Trump, citing a romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade as a conflict of interest. Oh my gosh, conflicts of interest can undermine the integrity of legal proceedings. The court's decision to remove Willis aims to ensure impartiality in the case, though it may also delay proceedings as new leadership is established. Now, what we found out, this development raises questions about the impact of personal relationships on personal responsibilities and the measures necessary to maintain public trust in the legal system. I'm going to throw to you on this, Counselor Weiss. Now, this is my question, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. If they are both licensed lawyers, right? Mm-hmm. Why does it matter if they were working late one night and they fell in bed together?
I think it has to do with the appearance of impropriety, the appearance of it, not whether or not there was impropriety, but the appearance of it because of the past relationship. Because they had a past relationship, they had feelings for each other. If she were to say something, if she were this, he would be impartial to her. The whole legal system, you know, look, the symbol of the justice system is you know, the lady, the woman holding the scales of justice blindfolded. So that is how we need to look at the legal system.
But I don't understand. They are working together to prosecute someone who did something illegal. Why does it matter what the two of them are doing in bed? Attorney Turner, help me out. I don't understand. Give me some reason. Now, I have to tell you, I don't think it was good. When it first came out, I knew that was going to be a win for the Trump's team, right? Like, that was just absolutely horrible. But why does it matter that her and her co-counsel are having an affair? Or they're both single. Can't they have sex with who they want to have sex with?
And it was a past relationship.
That's the rule for life because I will be single soon. But you know, I admire Fani Willis because her like resting bitch face is everything. She has the demeanor of a prosecutor. She is she's strong, she knows the law, and she's effective. The reason this is a problem is not because they were two consenting adults who just found themselves overwhelmed by, you know, the smell of law books and it decided to get busy. The reason this is a problem is because the reason you appoint a special prosecutor is because you want somebody who's impartial to handle the case. That's why.
Got it. And so him getting that Tootsie Cat, clearly there's no impartial there. So you're right, Lakers. No, what is it? Nicole A. Fanny let the D mess her up. Do better, sis. Tanya Crowder says that was the same good penis to get embarrassed like that. That's some good penis.
The power of the penis. I mean, the power of the penis does get you to do crazy things like get married. But and what they're suggesting is this, and it's kind of funny if you think about it this way, right? So Annie's pretty, right?
You think so?
Well, I mean, she's attractive, but the reason that she got removed from the case is
what
they are saying, Your Honor, is that her tissy cat must be magic because now that special prosecutor is being tainted and he'll do whatever she says. So that
now that you said that, that was good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that her appointed him as special prosecutor. He is supposed to be able to hear both sides, Trump's side as well as her side, and make an informed decision. Obviously, it's clear as day that can't happen. I mean, and it's clear as day that she picked him for a reason, not only to line his pockets, but also to line her Tootsie Cat.
Well, but think about this, Your Honor. I mean, in all fairness to her, and I don't know her, but I don't know the extent of this relationship. But if people who slept with you were recused from being on the show, like how long would the line be? Right? I don't know if she was just throwing it around, but maybe he's a great lawyer, and that's why she appointed him.
No. Clearly, Attorney Turner, no. First of all, why would you ever be so sloppy? You are prosecuting somebody that people have been coming after, President Trump, that we've been trying to find a way to get this man in jail. Why would you jeopardize? And it made her career until now. Now she would, she had the opportunity to go down as one of the best defense prosecutor, right?
Yeah.
Defense prosecuting attorneys in the history of the legal system. However, now all of that is for nothing over some penis.
No, I agree with you. It was a mistake.
Why would you assign the man that you had either had sex or having sex, going on special trips with? You are trying to prosecute Donald Trump. You know they're going to dig into your past. You know they're going to find it out.
Here's where her mistake was, and this is a lesson for the algoriters. Her mistake wasn't sleeping with him. Her mistake might not have been appointing him. Her mistake was concealing it. Often the cover-up is worse than the crime. And so if she was going to appoint somebody to be special prosecutor that she had an intimate relationship with, she should have been forthcoming about it. What it appears happened is she thought she could be slick. No one would know. It came out, and then you can't really dig out from that. It's kind of like if you're working at a company and you promote your girlfriend, but she's like your side piece girlfriend and nobody really knows. And even though she's talented, no one will ever believe that she.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Death God said Fanny had the best case against Trump. I agree. Sure did. Someone said here, Danielle Cameron said, Your Honor, it's only two of them in the bedroom. Who told? Was there a tape? How did this get out? I'm going to tell you how it got out. She and he were in every press, coverage about this case all over the nation. The hotel staff, the check-in person, they remember seeing the two of them coming in and getting a room together. That's how this stuff gets out. It's not one of them talking about it, or it could have been one of his boys or one of his colleagues. But I'm going to tell you, most of the time, it's what you don't think is happening. You go into restaurants together. The waiters, the owners of the restaurants are talking. The places where you go to, where you think you're getting some Tootsie Cat on the low, the people that see you go in and out together, the people that see you go in the same room together, the housekeepers. Yeah, when an investigative reporter starts walking around and digging and Donald Trump paid for that, they're giving good money for you to talk. And what they do, especially if you go to public places, all they do is pull the footage.
And
they pull the footage.
She's a public figure. She has been seen. She needed to look over her shoulder and protect her reputation, her name, and cover her tracks. And the problem is she did not do it. And, it's out there. And look, I do think that if she would have even come out and said, hey, he and I had a relationship, he would have been tossed off. He needed to answer to her. She was the boss. She should have told people, and if they made a decision to allow it to go, it is what it is. But again, everybody knew that Trump's team was going to try to poke.
They were going to do. They were going to pay top dollar for that.
That's why you have to be careful. Like if you intend to sleep your way to the top, it's always kind of dream of mine, but I haven't done it. I'm just joking. But
wait, which part are you joking about?
No, nobody's actually ever approached me for that. I hear about people who slept their way. It's not my reality.
Cut it out. You got three kids. You got three kids. You got me messed up, Attorney Turner. You got three kids, and your ex-husband is very attractive. Very.
To the top, I slept my way.
Wait. And you taught law school, so I'm sure there were students that were saying, hey,
plausible deniability counselor, not working in this court, not in this court.
I would say, like, for my ex-boyfriends, for example, some of them do really well, and could they not hire me for something, right? And the other thing is that what about the people who want?
Did you throw it in a circle?
What about the people who want to sleep with me and haven't, right? Is there attraction a disqualifier for me getting, a certain role? I think this whole question of what are the limits of humanity and what really makes you have a conflict of interest. And so that's why I go back to say that Fani should have disclosed.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you can't, come on now. First of all, she just glad to be getting some D in Atlanta from a man that's straight. Yeah. Okay, let's be clear, right? So she didn't want to mess up the D. I mean, let's be very, very honest about this. But you can't say that I picked the guy I'm getting the D from, but he's going to be impartial. He's going to hear both sides and he's going to make informed decisions. It's not going to happen. All right, let's keep it moving, everybody. This is the time of the show that we go to you, the jury, to answer the questions. And oh my God, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Let It Go says, after all this talk, will Vick still have a job as a coach? Hopefully, this is my opinion, and I'll let the counselors, and we know Weiss is a very strong follower of Vick. I'm going to say that I'm hoping he told them all of this, right? They know about the other stuff. They know about his past bankruptcies. So I'm hoping that, he's able to weather the storm. What are your thoughts, Attorney Weiss?
He's going to be fine with this. It's not going to lose him his job because this all stems from the case that was filed in 2022. He was hired in 2024. So they knew about this case. They did the background search. They did whatever. Look, the only way the university would say no is if
it was a child case or another dog case or something like that.
Business case. They're not going to.
Yeah, got it. Okay, Sandra McGee says, please leave my black man alone. He paid his dues. Why is his financial situation being discussed? Asking for a friend. All right, let's keep going. Danielle Cameron at Chaton. As long as you don't have dogs, girl, get your man, Vick. Kendra Jones says, Karen needs court-appointed counseling. This is her second offense, and thank God no one was hurt. She's battling some demons. True. Nicole A. says, I don't like that Karen is downplaying her DUI on the show. It's a very serious offense, and she could have killed someone. Do not drink and drive. Daniel Cameron says, Miss Karen, girl, them tapes had me on the floor. We read that. Bernice Johnson said, I like Karen, but she thinks she's above the law. She needs to do time. Let's see. Let's get to a question. Tanya Crowder says she was name dropping anti-China favoritism. All right, here we go. Here's a question. Daphne said, did anyone catch when she said she doesn't like her husband while in the car with the police? I didn't catch that. Did you guys?
No, but I'm not surprised.
Ooh, Daphne, you messy. You are so messy,
He
Daphne.
didn't look out for her, so I wouldn't like him either.
Justin Jonda, the Miranda thing was very odd. I do believe it was questionable. They should have read her Miranda before getting in the car. Also, that computerized thing at the station was bizarre as well. I think if they put her in the front seat, I don't think they were arresting her. That's why she wasn't Mirandized, right?
And no handcuffs.
And no handcuffs. So that's a lot. They're gonna have to explain a whole lot. All right, Nicole, sad thing is that women will still continue to lay down with him knowing that he doesn't take care of his kids. Yep, you're right, because they think they're different.
He's got big feet.
Ooh, you know what?
I mean, he wears big socks.
There's a code of ethics in the law. This is what Keisha M says. Unfortunately, she did not allow more restraint as a professional. This case was too important. She had to be extra cautious. I agree. All right, next up, we, the judge, as well as the two legal beagles, are going to talk about the verdict. First up is Mike Vick, guilty or not guilty of running away from his financial responsibilities. Attorney Turner, what say you?
I'm giving fine Mike Vick the benefit of the doubt. I think that we need to see how the underlying lawsuit is resolved before we make comment on this involuntary bankruptcy petition. They seem to be jumping the gun to me.
Okay, is that guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
All right, Attorney Weiss, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
And why?
Because there has been no finding that he's done anything wrong. And until that, he shouldn't have to be dealing with this involuntary bankruptcy.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds. I'm the judge here in the Court of Public Opinion, Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And in public opinion, Mike Vick, you're looking guilty. I'm going to find him guilty. Guilty because this isn't his first time. He has some financial issues that he's got. His financial management, he needs to get under control. And you're making good money. You can't just run away from your debt like you did the last time. All right, next up, Karen Huger. Is she guilty or not guilty of a bad wig situation? Attorney Turner, what say you?
She bad of a bad wig situation, not keeping her edges up. So yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Karen. We can have some peace sometime, but guilty.
Attorney Weiss.
Guilty of being a dumb arse and and getting behind the wheel is just stupid.
Right. I'm Al, and I'm the judge here at Celebrity Court. And Karen, I saw you at the Us Weekly party. Love you to death. You smell good. You look good. We had a great time, but I got to find you guilty. And I'm going to tell you what you're guilty of. No more drinking and driving. You make a lot of money. People look up to you. Get a car. Get a driver. Also guilty of a wig going way back on those edges. And also guilty for talking too much at the scene of a crime. All right, next up.
Beer or whiskey when you said she smelled good?
All right, next up is Tristan Thompson, guilty or not guilty for paying his debt for the child that he created with Jordan Craig. Jordan Craig, of all people. Attorney Weiss, what say you?
He is guilty of not doing the right thing until he was threatened with contempt of court.
All right, Attorney Turner.
He's guilty of hoeing around, guilty of stringing around a lot of babies' mamas, and guilty of not accepting his obligations voluntarily.
All right, I'm Al, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. And we're going to find Tristan Thompson guilty. You're guilty of buying a $15 million house over buying the clothes for the child that you created. Where does that make sense? Who does that? You're also guilty for not showing the same type of love for all your kids and not just the famous ones. All right, next up, we have Malcolm X's daughters. Is the FBI, CIA, in New York Police Department, and other government agencies guilty or not guilty of being a part of the wrongful death of Malcolm X? Attorney Turner, what say you?
I'm going to reserve judgment on this, but they're looking guilty, and there's already been some stuff proven that they had an incentive for him to die because he was, a threat from their perspective. So they're likely guilty.
All right, Attorney Weiss.
If they knew and they didn't protect him, then they are guilty.
All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. We're going to find the FBI guilty, the CIA guilty, the New York City Police Department guilty, and the other government agencies guilty. We've seen enough documentaries, we've seen enough movies, we've read enough court documents, we've read enough newspaper reports, anonymous reports, to know that they definitely had some type of involvement, if not negligent supervision, for not protecting this man and his life. All right, next up we have Fani Willis. Is Fani Willis guilty? And come on, algorithms and viewers, I need you down in the chat. Is she guilty or not guilty of being mesmerized by the D and exercising some indiscretions that have cost her, what some will argue, her career? Attorney Turner, what say you?
I think Fani is actually guilty of believing that she was an old white guy. Sisters can't get away with this kind of thing. She thought she was Trump. Yeah, she had to play it safe. She had to be above board. And unfortunately, she's guilty of getting caught up.
Got it. Attorney Weiss?
She's guilty of putting the D before
the law.
Before the law. Thank you. Before justice. Before doing what she should have been able to do.
All right, I'm Alan. I'm the judge here in the Court of Public Opinion, and I'm going to agree with Abby NYC, the MM family. She's guilty of being horny. Horny. Guilty of being horny and not taking care of your business. How do you fumble the ball like this? You were balling on this case. You had everybody across the waters internationally were watching you. You were a boss woman, only to find out you weren't really. Man, how depressing is that? All right, everybody. Today's cases remind us that fame does not exempt individuals from legal responsibilities or personal challenges. From financial struggles to legal convictions in complex lawsuits, the law applies universally and actions have consequences. So here's the call to action. Uphold integrity. Seek help when needed, and remember that accountability is key regardless of your status. Thank you for joining us on Celebrity Court, where fame meets justice and no headline escapes judgment. See you next week. Court is now